So what if Samsung made the rest of its Galaxy S22 models sort of ultra phones? Because yes, it seems that the Galaxy S22 Plus and even the regular variant might really go all out with the cameras, but in a weird way. A new report gives us information on what we could be getting with Apple's next event, and the next OPPO Find X might bring some things that we didn't necessarily like from previous OnePlus phones. Anyways, I'm Jaime Rivera, and what phone are you currently using right now and why? Let us know in the comments. This is Pocketnow Daily. The official news today are non-existent yet again, and listen, it's not something new. It usually happens when we're waiting up for new phones. For now, let's talk about OPPO and their next flagship. We've been getting a bunch of leaks of the OPPO Find X5, including the specs and the design, but now we get some leaked images that give us more details on the camera. On the hump, it says powered by Silicon, which is the company's own NPU announced last month. Where it gets interesting here is when you look at the bottom right corner where you see a Hasselblad logo. Yes, now that OnePlus is officially a sub-brand of OPPO, it looks like the Hasselblad partnership has carried over to the Find X series. We're expecting this phone to bring a 50 megapixel main sensor from Sony with OIS, a 50 megapixel secondary ultrawide, and then a 13 megapixel telephoto. I wasn't a fan of the OnePlus 9 Pro's photography, but I did enjoy the Find X3 Pro, which was an irony considering that the 9 Pro had a better primary sensor. Let's see what OPPO does with Hasselblad, especially since they have that Silicon branding on the top. Maybe, I don't know, that could also give us a hint of the OnePlus 10 Pro. We'll see. Let's move the spotlight onto Apple and the iPhone 14 series, and I feel like I'm becoming like a broken record on this topic so early, but well, over the past week, there was a huge back and forth on what we'd be getting on the display, with reports mentioning all models bringing 120Hz ProMotion capabilities. But then 5 days ago, Ross Young posted a picture of the new panel that'll reportedly bring both the pill and the punch hole. And over the weekend, someone asked him on his expectations for the non-Pro iPhones and them bringing ProMotion this year. To this, Ross replied by saying no, since BOE does not have the LTPO capacity and have yet to begin shipping any LTPO panels. Apparently, it would be quite risky for Apple to try and deliver these for the regular models, and that might not happen until 2023. Of course, it still is very early for anything to be set in stone just yet, but that also brings more skepticism over those 6 gigs of RAM coming all across the board, which I doubt Apple will really do. We'll see. Moving on with a bit more Apple, let's talk about an event that is happening earlier, and I'm talking about their spring event. We have a new report from Mako Takara claiming that Cupertino is planning the launch of their 5th generation iPad Air, but it might not be what we thought. See, instead of a major overhaul, it looks like this is going to be somewhat of a spec bump, which kind of makes sense given the fact that this design is relatively just 1 generation. It's rumored to bring similar internals to the latest iPad Air, with an A15 Bionic processor, 5G support, a new 12 megapixel ultra-wide selfie shooter with center stage, and more. Now, the reason this is interesting is because it also goes along with what Mark Gurman reported, that said that Apple's first event of 2022 will happen either on April or March, where we could expect a new iPad Air and the latest iPhone SE. Now, speaking of that iPhone, that's been kind of a while, but in case you've missed it, half the rumors claim that we're getting a redesigned iPhone XR with Touch ID in the power button, and then the other half claims that we're getting the same iPhone 8 design with a new processor and 5G support. Which design would you prefer more? Because I think it's time for an update, honestly. And finally, for the hottest news today, let's talk about Samsung and the Galaxy S22 series. Now, bear with me here, it'll start a bit boring, but just wait for it. Pretty much everything we thought we knew would have been already set in stone until now, but let's just say that things might not necessarily remain the same. For example, we have some new renders from 91 Mobiles, which bring us sort of official images showing us the Galaxy S22 Plus model. From these, we can see that the design pretty much is the same to the Galaxy S21 Plus, at least in the black color variant, and of course, also the Galaxy S21 FE. Now, the leak mentions that the S22 Plus might bring the Exynos 2200 in the UK and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 in the rest of the world, but alright, where this all takes a dramatic turn is when we talk about cameras. See, we've always known more or less what to expect for the Ultra, but what if the regular models brought a dramatic leap closer? This report claims that both the S22 and the S22 Plus would bring a 50 megapixel primary sensor, but apparently these would include an adaptive pixel technology which uses two modes to capture photos, one being an 108 megapixel remosaic mode and a 12 megapixel nona binning mode, and that photos would be captured in 12-bit color. I know, I am as confused as you are because it sounds like pixel oversampling to get larger shots, but then why do nona binning on the resulting photos? Now, as for other specifications, the battery of at least one of the models, probably the Plus, will bring a 4500 milliamp hour power pack, but then go ultra on charging speeds with 45 watts so long as you buy the separate charger. Anyways, in today's question, let us know, do you think this possible major jump in cameras would justify the new price tags, because we hear that they're $100 more expensive each? Because in my case, we've already proven that, it doesn't really matter when it comes to megapixel count. And 10-bit we've seen and we haven't really taken advantage of, so 12-bit, okay, that's pretty cool, but I'm just gonna care about the results, so that's just me. Leave us a comment down below, we'd love to know your opinion. Friends, again, if you want to get the news earlier, follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can also follow us on social media, so our extended coverage happens on Instagram, and follow me on my personal handles to see me debate phones. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.